Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great week. Welcome back to another video. I have a little voiceover 5 days in my journal video for you today. I always have one of these in May, I don't know, maybe it's just the spring air reinvigorating me. This one is a little different. It's going to be 5 days still, but not in the same week. I just wanted to show some of the recent pages I made. These are all pretty simple layouts and didn't take me too long at all. And I just think that it's a nice reminder that you can make a cute little daily page and it doesn't have to be something that takes a lot of time or that you agonize over, you know? So, getting right into it, the first day that I have is April 10th. This was kind of an emotional day for me. As you may or may not know, I've kind of been in the job hunting process because my last job's contract ended in April. And this day was actually my second to last Friday in the office. So after this day, I only had 1 week left and I was in office for this day because my company every now and then will do in-office events in the studio, even though most of the people are work from home. My location in New York, I want to say like half of the team was pretty regularly all work from home, and then another team at the office I think went in a lot more, but my team was completely remote with the exception of maybe 1 to 2 people. It's kind of like one of the few places that has retained a mainly remote working environment since COVID, but there are still these in-office events and they're always on a Friday, so I went in for the first time. It had never really aligned with my schedule before, but since it was going to be my last one, I was like, I definitely want to go in. It's a raffle, so you have to be in the office to see if you win the raffle. But actually what ended up happening is that because I think that they knew that it was going to be the last raffle for a lot of people because it's only like, I think 4 times a year. So, the rest of my team would be rolling off soon as well. Our office manager just gave everybody a random gift. He was like cleaning out the closet, he said, and he was just like gift wrapped a bunch of random stuff, mostly DVDs, it seemed, because I received a DVD of Transformers. So, I'll cherish that forever. My one time I won the raffle was a Transformers DVD. After the raffle, I went with some coworkers to a coffee shop and we just sat there and chatted about kind of, how we were feeling with everything, how bummed out we were that everything was going to be over soon and what we're hoping to do at our next job. It was just a very bummer of a day is the only way I can describe it. But at the time, at least, like I had a crew dinner coming up a few weeks from then, so I knew I was going to see everybody again, but that day was still a bummer because I knew it was going to be one of my last times at the office. So I have the business card from the coffee place. I love this little mascot guy. He was all over the store too, like he's not just on the cards. I think it's such a funny little character to have. And then the big cat sticker was actually left at my desk in the office. One of my friends from high school is an artist, so she came to visit the studio because some of her friends from college actually work there. She saw my desk, she left me a sticker, so I thought that was very cute. She was also at Sunny Day last year, and she went again this year as well, but I missed it this year. But yeah, I love her designs. It's been very fun to watch her kind of come into her style as an artist, because when we were friends in high school, I feel like she was so influenced by 2012 kind of Tumblr art. I don't know how to describe it, but like if you were on Tumblr in 2012, you know what I mean, like all of the art. She would draw people with like kind of like cutesy, like really big heads and then little kind of like tiny stub bodies. I'll try to see if I can find a picture of it, but like very recognizable as like, mid 2010s. So it's been so fun kind of watching her find this style because it's so completely different from what she started as and like what she used to doodle in my planner. But anyway, I'm glad that I went to the raffle. I'm glad I got to see everybody. Actually, as I'm recording this, it's been exactly a month since my contract ended. An emotional roller coaster to say the least, because, it was a job I had for almost 5 years, but at least the blow was softened by me getting to see everybody a few times, not just on this day, but also at the dinner, and then one day we met up in the park, so that's been good. The following day, April 11th, I met up with my friend in Washington Square Park. Uma is someone who I met on a film set before I got my most recent job. We were both unpaid interns on a film set, lugging around sandbags and handing out water bottles and moving the video village up and down a hill multiple times. The process of the film was probably 4 to 6 weeks. I don't even particularly remember now, but it was summer of 2021 and it was absolutely miserable. We ended with a full week and a half of night shoots, absolutely delirious, showing up at 4 or 5 p.m., getting home at 7 a.m. It was honestly like it was like going to a summer camp that was in hell. It was truly the worst. That experience made me realize that I was like not cut out to be a set PA. Those people are the strongest breed on the planet. But I made a lot of really great friends through it, including Uma, and I met all of her friends after I moved to the city because she's from here. So I'm so glad that I did it. But yeah, the experience itself was harrowing. But we met up and we talked about work, and she talked about freelancing because that's kind of her gig right now. And then while we were sitting in the park, she got an insane job offer over the phone. So I wrote in the entry that I was like, I feel like I'm a good luck charm for everybody but myself. Kind of a monkey's paw situation where I always wish for good luck and good fortune every night at 11:11, and it comes to everybody around me, but I'm cursed to never have it myself. So that's kind of where I'm at. I also put this little business card in from the chatty roll company, which was nearby. She went and grabbed a snack from there. And even if I don't grab food from a place because like I couldn't eat any of it, I was like, I'm gonna take this business card home and put it in my journal. I am always snatching up business cards anywhere that I go. I prefer it like when a restaurant will have a matchbox because I just love the designs of matchboxes, and I'll take 2. One for our communal matchbox collection that we have on our living room, and then I'll take one for my journal. I'll take out the matches and like kind of take out the staple and arrange it in such a way. I have a few in my journal now, but if there's no matchbox and there's no sticker, I will take a business card. So I always appreciate when there's a cute design on the business card. So we are jumping ahead a bit to May 7th. I was recently in South Carolina to visit my parents, and this was about halfway through my trip. I wanted to try sectioning off the day using these stickers that I got in Korea. They're little mood expression stickers. So I was trying to match the expression to like each part of the day that I was talking about. We knew this night that we wanted to go to music bingo at a little cafe. So we wanted to go to an 8:30 a.m. Pilates class. That was our plan. We have planned to go to this 8:30 a.m. Pilates class multiple times when I have visited my parents, and we have never made it out the door because I think my dad doesn't come with us when we go to the morning ones. Like, he has to work, so it's me and my mom trying to motivate each other to go to the class, and we'd have to leave at like 8 a.m. and it has just never happened. But we did go to Main Street and we went to this little I don't want to call it a pop-up. It was still kind of like a cafe or a restaurant, but I kind of got the vibe that like it had like multiple stalls inside. Maybe I was thinking of it wrong, but anyway, and I got a gluten-free bagel there with a bacon cream cheese spread, and it was so amazing. I'm always trying to collect the most amazing gluten-free bagel that I can. I had a pretty stellar one the last time that I was in Korea. It was like a rice bagel with a lot of sesame seeds. So I think that's still kind of one of my favorites. But as far as like a traditional American style bagel, this one was really good, and the cream cheese was so good. And I also got a London Fog tea. I got it iced, which was definitely my fault because it was way too watery. There used to be a cafe at my college called Karma's Cafe, and they had an amazing London Fog style tea that I have been kind of chasing the high of ever since. And I believe the cafe at my school has now shut down. I think it like shuttered during COVID and never reopened, which was so sad because that drink was so good and that was always what I got. But yeah, this one was just okay. I should have gotten it hot. It was too watery, and that's because there was ice in it, so that's on me. But the bagel was delicious. And then we still went to music bingo that night. I was so close to getting bingo on round 2. It was like the situation where you have 1 square left and then 15 songs go by and my song never popped up. It was agonizing. The last time that I went to music bingo with them was last summer, I think. And both my mom and my dad won a round. And I was like, I'm a good luck charm, because they had been going for like over a year and had never won. And then I show up and I help them mark off some of the songs that they didn't know. And then they won, including the last round, which is like the big prize. So this just all goes into what I was saying before, that I'm a good luck charm for other people, which is great, can I say? I'm glad that I can do that, but I need some luck right now. I'm going crazy. So that's where we're at. But unfortunately, even my good luck charm did not work for us at music bingo, but it was still fun. Once we got home, I finished up the puzzle that I was working on. I always do so many puzzles when I visit my parents because I don't have space to do them in my apartment, and I love doing puzzles. It was a Magic Puzzle Company puzzle. It was like one of their recent ones called the Golden Goose, and when you finish a Magic Puzzle Company, there's always like a sticker in the box. Like you finish the puzzle and then you open up this other envelope that has like the conclusion of the puzzle in it, because there's always like a twist and there's a sticker inside for everyone. So like when you look through my journals, you'll see so many of these golden stickers scattered throughout because I've done almost every puzzle that they have. They cut them in a way so that the pieces are kind of framed around different parts of the image, if that makes sense. Like they don't have as many like awkward design cutoffs, so it's easy to, if you'll always have like, for example, like one little character on a piece and you can kind of figure out where it goes. And they also don't do that thing where, you know, it's a photograph puzzle and you're putting together like a picture of the sea, so there's like 500 pieces of blue. It's not like that. It's very intricate designs. So highly recommended. If you're a puzzle person, this is not anything new to you because they're like the most popular puzzle company right now. The following day that I have, May 8th, was the first day of Artisphere. This is an art festival that happens over a weekend in Greenville. They turn Main Street into an art market and set up all these booths, and these artists come from all over the country and they display their work, and it's just a very cool setup. There were so many more booths and people than I expected, and I always love anytime you're in like a city and they turn the main road into a walkable little fair. Like I think that's so fun. Very fun weekend. We were on Main Street like 3 days in a row, and the crowds were so insane the following day, so I'm glad we went on the first day to kind of like get a lay of the land and see everything. A lot of the art there was these massive original paintings or pottery or sculptures. Like there was a display of, I want to say, brass sculptures, but made to look like wood. I didn't touch them, obviously, so I don't know exactly what they were made of, but they looked almost like brass made to look like wood, of these geometric animal designs that were huge, like some of them taller than an average man. And one of them was a big, it looked like almost like a Labrador puppy with a cardinal on its tail, and I think it was $15,000. So that is the general idea of like a lot of the prices at Artisphere. This little mug that I cut out, I took from a business card, and she had so much beautiful stuff. And her stuff, like some of her smaller stuff, like she had these ceramic, I don't know how to explain it, but almost like a kind of like a ceramic plate with a, not a basket, but like kind of like a cupped area. I am not doing a good job of explaining it, but like for her display, she had like little matches hanging in there. I got the vibe that like you could put a little tea light candle on the ledge and kind of like have like a hanging tea light. And they were so pretty, and they weren't too exorbitantly expensive, but it did make me nervous to think about having to hang it up, and it's something that is pretty expensive, and like if it fell off, like it's just one of those things. I also balk at like really expensive mugs and bowls for the same reason, just because I have been breaking a lot of our mugs and bowls and wine glasses lately in the apartment. Like I don't know why. So I was so nervous even standing near all this beautiful pottery. This other business card was from an artist who did these kind of like surreal paintings. I had to cut off a lot of it, unfortunately, to fit this in. It was like a lot of paintings of the ocean, and everything just kind of had this like weird eerie vibe, almost like you would half expect it to be happening during like an alien invasion. Like it was kind of like this eerie glowing light in a lot of the paintings, which I thought was really cool. So I took one of those cards as well. But highlight, we did get free merch from a State Farm booth activation, which was cracking me up. We like got in line and we got to pick out these like patches for a hat or a bag, and my dad and I made these kind of matching hats with our old area code on it, which I was very pleased about, and it was a very good quality hat. So I thought that was cool of State Farm to do a little free brand activation. It was just like being at Coachella. So, you know, I could say that I also went to Coachella. And the last day that I have for you today is Mother's Day. So I actually started out this day FaceTiming a friend from high school who now works at HarperCollins. I just wanted to kind of ask about her job and get her thoughts on the publishing industry, because as I'm in my job hunt right now, I'm kind of thinking that might be something I could pivot to, because I think there are a lot of transferable skills between my old role and the role of like an editorial assistant at HarperCollins or any publishing company in general. I want to just kind of like get her thoughts on that, and she agreed, so that was good to hear. She is currently living abroad, so she's hoping to move back to the city, so she didn't know anybody in New York or anything for me, but it was still good to just kind of like get her opinion on everything. I have been talking about publishing so much to so many people, and I do have faith that I would be able to perform that role successfully. My issue that I'm facing right now is that obviously a lot of people want to go into publishing, and people who went to school for publishing or literature or were very English focused, or journalism, and people who had internships while still in school. And obviously, you know, I went to school for film. I had film internships, and then I got my most recent job in production. So I've kind of accidentally cornered myself. Why would we go with her over someone who studied this in school and also has like all these publishing internships? So that's kind of what I'm competing against, which I think is fair. I mean, my industry even is very competitive right now, and it would be hard for someone to make the reverse pivot from publishing to animation. So I wish I could like go back in time and tell myself in college to stop taking fun summer jobs. I don't know what my problem was. Like I don't know. I have no good reason, but I was a camp counselor for 3 years in summer just because I was like, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my summer. I'm seeing a really weird email come through on my phone. I need to check this really quick. Alert. Oh my God. My friend just emailed me. Hey, guess who put her phone on the roof of her car while she was getting gas and drove off with it? And it flew off the roof on 309. Eek, me. So if I'm not answering anything, that's why. You're the only one whose email I have, so let the girls know. I can't. But anyway, what was I saying? I need to like script out more of these voiceovers because I did not write down that tangent at all. I just put in parenthesis like talk, and I just totally ran with that. Let me get back to the Mother's Day spread. So after I talked to my friend, I got my hair dyed and cut again, thank God, because I hadn't had it done since October. And my natural hair color, I always call it like a desaturated black or like a desaturated brown. It's just not a very interesting color to look at, and I hate the way it looks when it's growing out. And then after that, I went to a little charm and jewelry store with my mom to make some jewelry. I made a little charm bracelet. I was so happy with it. I've been wanting a silver charm bracelet for so long. So when I walked into the store, I was like so excited to see that they had so many options. And I wanted silver specifically. I kind of want to start wearing both gold and silver jewelry. I've been only gold for a long time. I think like I want to say like I started wearing jewelry kind of regularly in 2021. Now that I wear jewelry a lot, I've been wearing a lot of gold, but I really like the look of some silver jewelry. And I think especially like with my hair color being not as dark as my natural hair color, but with it being darker than like I used to have like blonde balayage in it for a while. I like the way that silver jewelry looks a lot more now. I spent so long like agonizing over what charms I was going to do, and my mom spent so long agonizing over what she was going to put on her necklace, and she landed on like this French coin. And then we went to my grandmother's for dinner, which was nice because my uncle was also back from traveling for work, so we all had dinner together. And it was just a really nice night. I kind of had to skedaddle out of there pretty early because I had to do so much laundry before my flight out. But it was so nice to see everybody. For the spread, I have a little sticker from the store. I dropped that in there. I used this rainbow star washi that I think I picked up in Korea. I'm like 99% sure this is from Korea. And then I have these little keychain stickers. I used a lot of these on the cover of my hobonichi itself. I thought that this fit like the theme of the day because along with necklaces and bracelets, you could also make bag charms or keychains. And they actually had a lot of like giant safety pin looking things or like carabiners that you could make your bag charm on. So I was like, oh, this kind of fits. And I like the one with the 4-leaf clover and the house a lot because for my bracelet, I almost chose a 4-leaf clover and a house charm. So I was like, okay, I'll incorporate it that way. But that was very fun. Happy to start building my little stack up. So that is all from me for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. I really love making these 5 days in my hobonichi type videos, but sometimes it's tough to do it all in the same week. Very rarely do I have a week where every single one of the days it's something actually interesting, or I have something to put in my journal or something like to write about, or I have the inspiration to make a cute spread. So I kind of like the idea of still keeping the format, but maybe just getting a little bit more flexible with the dates that I use. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!